I warmly welcome the measures in the Gracious Address which will enhance the lives and prospects of the people of Exeter. The starting point for the King's speech was an increasingly dangerous and volatile world. Few governments have had to simultaneously tackle a decade and a half of underinvestment and a dire fiscal situation, alongside the shockwaves of trade tariffs, terrible wars and a cost of living crisis, not to mention the rapacious pace of technological change and a fast-changing climate driving global instability. Yet, despite all the obstacles, this government continues to set forward a prospectus for change that is working. The British economy grew in the last year faster than any other economy in the G7, and members will note today's IMF upgrade to growth prospects this year too. We see the biggest fall in NHS waiting lists for 17 years. In Exeter, over 4,000 fewer people are on waiting lists, and ambulances are already arriving 30 minutes faster today than last year. We're delivering new Sure Start style services, breakfast clubs, investment in our schools and college, and the 30 hours of funded childcare is already making an enormous difference to families. This is real change, but for change to accelerate and to last, we need economic growth. And it's clear that we're engaged in a battle of ideas both in this chamber and around the world. In any such battle of ideas, we should turn to Tony Crosland, who famously argued in The Future of Socialism in 1956 that economic growth is central to social solidarity and greater equality. By growing the economy, we can share the proceeds of growth fairly and invest in our social realm, making us all richer, economically, socially, culturally, and more secure. 70 years on from Crosland's masterpiece, the global economy is very different. So where will growth come from? First, greater trade with Europe. In our unstable world with uncertain partners, our stability, prosperity and security rely on meaningful partnerships with like-minded nations. So I welcome the European Partnerships Bill, which will boost growth in the South West. At a time of volcanisation and uncertainty around the world, the UK must redefine and enhance our relationship with Europe. Our geography, our values and our economy all point in one direction. This bill will increase trade with Europe and will break down barriers and erase frictions. Second, we must embrace the technological revolution. Exeter already leads the way in green energy, digital infrastructure and research. Artificial intelligence presents great challenges, to be sure, but also great opportunities too. And I want Exeter to be at the heart of that tech revolution. From our world-leading universities to our thriving science parks such as Exeter Science Park and science institutions such as the Met Office, the South West has become a powerhouse for scientific discovery and technological advancement. And as my right honourable friend, the Chancellor, has often said, growth cannot be purely powered from a narrow base in financial services and from London and the South East. As in the 19th century, growth must be powered by strong regions and cities, by innovators and entrepreneurs, by small and medium enterprises, by science and technology. Growth will come from tackling the climate emergency, developing the post-carbon technologies that will save us, and managing the just transition to an environmentally sustainable economy. All of this requires an active state taking long-term decisions on investment and research. It requires successful and supported world-class universities such as Exeter University, delivering the job-ready graduates our businesses need, and actively helping innovators to commercialise and productise their research, to start up and spin out, and to scale up. It needs more active and deeper capital markets so that British innovation can more easily become British success. Third, we need to unleash the potential of every young person. I welcome the new national focus on skills and apprenticeships and the Education for All bill. We must tackle the scandal of hundreds of thousands of young people not in employment, education or training. When I meet Exeter's young people, they do not lack ambition or drive, they lack the platforms on which to stand. Exeter College, the best tertiary college in the country, now delivers 95 different apprenticeship standards and pathways in partnership with 1,100 employers, meaning they're ranked third nationally for apprenticeship starts, which is remarkable in the 48th biggest city in England. I'm delighted that we'll be further equipped by this government to help young people reach their potential by becoming a construction technical excellence college. We're working with Exeter Council, our university, schools and businesses to put rocket boosters under the ambition of Exeter's rising generation. Trades, technology, young people, three surefire routes to economic growth. Let's never forget that politicians can encourage and craft the conditions for growth, but it's businesses who create the growth itself. I particularly welcome the Small Business Protections Bill. I know from my own business experience over 15 years and from speaking to Exeter's small businesses that cash flow is the lifeblood of any business. I also welcome the Regulating for Growth Bill, for example, embedding the presumption of growth into the work of regulators. Too often the framework of regulators has failed to balance the need to deliver with the duty to regulate, and I look forward to seeing the details of this bill. mill. As ever, I take my inspiration from Exeter, its businesses, entrepreneurs and workers. I'm thinking of New Motion Labs, Intelligent AI, Brain in Hand Limited, Role Mapper for 4 examples of the new economy that is thriving in Exeter. Across my city and my region, we are fashioning the answers and forging the future. This King's Speech lays the foundations for economic growth and shared prosperity, not based on trickle-down economics or anarcho-capitalism, but on investment and modernisation. We're engaged in a battle of ideas both here and around the world, and I say, bring it on.